give your team some paid time to just think, because we are such doers, and that can trigger anxiety and other things. Like, we are just constantly in the weeds on productivity, do this, do that, that nobody can take a breath to stop and let their creative
Yeah.
juices flow, or do
Yeah.
a little research. And if we just paid some people to actually think, I think that would open up, at least on the creative front, endless possibilities. Yeah.
Hey, how's it going? It's Tim Brown, and this is the Hook Better Leads podcast. And today I've got Bruce Lefler from Bēst Roofer Marketing
Best
on the
Roofer
show.
Marketing. That's it.
And how do I get to that website if I need to go?
All the socials, Best Roofer Marketing directly. Run into me in the store, and I'll put you on it. Just about anywhere you look, there we are.
And here I am having another roofer marketing company on my podcast. I'm embarrassed to say, I think it's partly because I just appreciate the camaraderie, and we refer each other. So
Oh, absolutely.
Bruce is good company. It's good. I suggest roofers do this too. It's like, talk about the other couple companies that you think are actually doing it pretty well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you kind of look like a sad sack talking shit about all the other companies all the time. I think people need to get a little bit better about being. You should choose somebody like us or like us that
Right.
does these things.
Yeah. 100%.
Which is like, what do you think that we do that some marketing companies don't do? Before we get into the main topic, which is going to be how AI is changing roofing marketing, but what do you think like a good roofing marketing company does? Like, we could bullet point 3 things or something.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think the first and the foremost, man, is transparency, right? I say this often, and I'm very convicted about this, being in this industry for 21 years now. Agencies are notorious for taking a useless data set of KPIs that don't really matter, putting it on letterhead, beautifying it, and then convincing roofers that they're kicking ass and taking names, when in fact it's quite the contrary. So I definitely believe in transparency with the results up to and including, true dollar for dollar ROI and ROAS on everything that you're spending. If they're not offering transparency at that level, I would question, right? What are you really getting for your money? So I would say that's one.
Join us January 5th through the 7th at Oklahoma City Convention Center for RoofCon 2026. It's going to be amazing. I hear there's somebody special that's going to be keynoting there. I'm going to be speaking. It's going to be really, really fun. And the best part is not even the speakers at events like this. Bringing the roofing industry together, talking about all the most cutting edge technologies and new methods, the best people in the industry sharing great information, as well as having community. That's what it's all about, having community and creating relationships. So join us. That's January 5th through the 7th at Oklahoma City Convention Center.
Absolutely. And I'm going to go with number 2. I'm going to say own your marketing. You should own all your accounts. You should have the ability to go in and look at stuff naked without the sheen of the report over the top.
Yeah.
And that you should have the keys to your website and own your website. And I think that there are people, like we say this, and I think some people get sick of me saying it, but it's like some companies really don't allow you to take your website anywhere. Or
Right.
they build on some super proprietary system that it's very hard to find a developer.
It's not
I like WordPress. I understand there's some people out there that are pushing these other tools, but as long as you can find people to work on that website easily, I think that's a good platform. So own your marketing.
Yeah, and I think you and I first talked at RoofCon a couple of years ago before you started sending over referrals, and those were kind of some of your preliminary questions, right? Like,
Yeah.
hey, are you priced in this stratosphere? Do they own it? What do you build on, right? So I say that knowing that you're not just pulling pie in the sky, but you're convicted about those beliefs.
Yeah.
That it's important.
We got one more.
Yeah, I mean, oh God, there's so many, man. I'm sure we could pull a dozen of these out, right? But I think when you're vetting out a marketing agency, man, one of the things that's overlooked is service. We hear it a lot, and I am like really happy and proud to say, as we're getting to know each other better and becoming buds, when I refer business to you, I kind of say it like this. I think there's 2 agencies in the country that do a really good job for roofer marketing. It's us and Hook. and here's why. And then I kind of drill down, right? I know their team, I know the service, they actually get meaningful results. They charge what it takes to move the needle on your business, not just giving you some low level, useless package that is kind of turnkey out of the box cookie cutter. That's not going to really work. So when you couple that with really high touch, high quality service, I think it's important. I think it extends to the value, and that's often overlooked by prospects we talk to. They say, "Hey, man, I've been burned before, or everything started off great and then it fizzled out in 3 to 6 months, or I could never get a hold of my person because they expanded so fast that they were the they were the owner, the operator, the fulfillment, and most importantly, the sales guy. And sales always trumps in that equation. So service is a big one.
Ooh, yeah, that's when it's like the hyper small. Like sometimes they're good at the beginning, but then like you get lost.
Yeah.
So it's like I'll restate that one other way and add a little, which is just you want to get along with them and you want there to be good relationship,
Yep.
and that customer service is like not gone.
Yeah.
There's an
Yeah.
element, I don't know. For some reason, I just say like we charge enough that customer service is included. And actually, and I talked to other agencies.
Yeah.
I talked to other agencies, like for instance, somebody was wanting to merge with us. You won't know them, so I'm not even going to mention it. It doesn't matter. But when I hear them talk about customer service, it's like, to me, and I'm never going to say who it is, so it doesn't matter. I can tell they literally just disdain the fact that they have to do customer service. Like, but every single one of these roofing companies and home service businesses is built, like the good brands are built on customer service.
Right.
But like there really are people that don't think it's that important. And it's kind of wild to me. They're like, well, the results are there. And it's like, if you can't explain the results simply and keep the reporting in front of people, then that's not, I like when we lose a customer, a lot of the customers this last year that have gone have been because our failure to showcase the results in a clear and meaningful way. And I still take responsibility for that, even though most of them have had pretty good results. And we got to get better at that. We got to get better at that. I hate that I lose customers when the results are good, but I don't say, oh, they're an idiot. Okay, maybe a little bit, but I also say, what can we do to make it more clear and obvious that there was good results in the future? Because I don't want to lose as many. Like the result wasn't what I wanted in that they left.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, I was talking to somebody the other day, right? And the biggest concern, even after people execute and sign on with this, is the fear, right? And fear comes from the unknown. So I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was like, look, if you need me, you can call me. I'm still going to take your call. I'm still going to return it or delegate it to get somebody to get back to you. But, customer service has to be at the forefront, because the alternative is they can go pay somebody 60 to 80 grand a year to come sit in their office, and they don't have nearly the capacity to deliver how we can deliver, or our team full of experts that your agency and my agency has. But what they do have is somebody that's always there when they have a question. And there's an emotional
they get bug and yeah. Exactly. That's relationship, right? Like and on the bigger side, we're competing with that. Like I think about we'll get into the AI stuff in 1 second. Bruce and I are just trying to have a good time too, to the listeners. We're trying to let off some steam. There's an element of the best companies that we're talking to. The best companies are occasionally like, we're competing a little bit with the internal marketer, and internal marketers sometimes will say stuff to the owner that's not quite like people. They oversell too, right? Like internal employees sometimes oversell what they're capable of. Oh, I'm going to do all of this with AI and I don't even need a marketing agency anymore. There's an element of like, dude, we're using every single thing we possibly can on AI and we're getting up as fast as we possibly can. It is, and there's like 30 of us doing that, and we're building out AI on everything now, but we're still takes work to build that out too. There's an element of you got to build these processes out, and you want it to be built around the best possible processes. So companies like you guys and us have an opportunity with all the processes we've built to then layer on AI to those processes, versus you're talking about somebody who doesn't even really have processes built on hundreds of roofing companies marketing, and they're going to do the same quality of AI work that we're going to do. Give me a break. We have failed more times than your person has ever tried, and we have learned lessons from those things that are going to be baked into every single piece of AI that we build over this next year and a half. So as we layer on AI, you and I have an opportunity to build in all of these lessons that we've taken and then allow us to go faster and get more effective. That's the thing I'm most excited about, just to transition this,
Yeah.
is just as we do this, my goal is not just to do more faster. I think there's opportunities now to use AI to do better work. And that's where I think our heads should be at, is like, how could we do better work? And I'm not saying I have all this down yet, but I've got like plans, there's plans in place. And there we are starting to build out these workflows and stuff like that. I'm not going to like flex all of our workflows, but like we're using N8N. It's basically like Zapier, but it's like a little bit more visual to come up with the flows and stuff. And one of my things is like, okay, we've used AI to augment our writer's ability to research and get content out, but then we use a human element. And like my thing is like, what if we had the ability to like give them drafts, but we also ran it through multiple AI platforms, one for like fact checking and one for humanization, like because ChatGPT is so good at like a little bit better at fact checking than like Claude. Anyways, I'm not trying to go off the deep end on one specific thing, but I think the ability to have looked into a lot more things in the actual original process, not the AI process, but then apply all the things you've learned from the original process to now the AI, because AI is only as good as the amount of context you can give it.
Yeah. Well, and this is a good segue too, but it kind of hits on both points, right? If you think about it, so when you talk about when a PE firm is looking to buy you or I or a roofing contractor, they're looking for the processes. That's really the meat and potatoes. Like when we build a website, the value is not just in the aesthetics of a website, that it's fast. The value is in the content is written to convert a homeowner to be appeased by Google and to be relevant, right? And so these are the things that bringing this in-house and trying to just leverage a bunch of AI tools without the expertise, you're still going to come up short.
That's a good little micro lesson in there about the PE thing, right? Like, if you're trying to sell, make sure your processes are really good. You want to be the ideal scenario. Ideal scenario is you're the platform company.
Right.
And like if I ever sell, I want to be the platform company. I don't want to be the like guy that gets rolled in. I'm hoping Bruce is the guy. No, just kidding. Sorry, that people hate that. People I've found people hate it when you talk about buying them if there's ever a thing, because I don't know why, but people don't like
I'm
it.
still a lot younger than I look, man. I'm only 44, so I got to do this thing for a minute. I'm not thinking that way now, but I will tell you every step of the way, we are,
Building
we're preparing accordingly, because when the day comes, I don't want to have to figure out a decade's worth of effort into 12 months.
Yeah, exactly. So, and everyone should do that too. So many good lessons there. Roofing companies should do that. We should do that. And the more processes you have, and like this AI stuff applies not just to roofing marketing, though we're going to talk about developments in roofing marketing right now. It also, any processes that you make and can formulate in a really clear way, there will be a lot of those components, and I like to think of it as human support.
Yep.
Human support, that you'll be able to take that off of the human and put it onto this AI system as time goes on. This next few years, various platforms for workflows to connect all your software are going to get better and better. And some of you already have this, so I'm not speaking down to you guys, but like other people that aren't used to this, to just support the humans so that they don't have to do as much work. And maybe you need less humans over time. I'm not trying to be that guy, but there's an element of that is what PE firms are looking for ultimately. They want to see how they can do more with less, because that is EBITDA margin. And if they see that you've got stuff automated, it's going to be very attractive to them.
Yeah, absolutely. When I think too, when you have, your set employees on the team that are leveraging AI, it shouldn't displace them. One of the core things I'm trying to focus on in my agency is one I wish most roofing companies and other contractors would do as well, is give your team some paid time to just think. Because we are such doers, and that can trigger anxiety and other things. Like, we are just constantly in the weeds on productivity, do this, do that, that nobody can take a breath to stop and let their creative
Yeah.
juices flow, or do
Yeah.
a little research. And if we just paid some people to actually think, I think that would open up, at least on the creative front, endless possibilities. Yeah.
Yeah, and why is that beneficial for the owner? Because otherwise, you're the only one thinking,
Right. Yeah.
and
If you're
that's
doing
very
it right,
tiring.
if you're doing it right, you're putting smarter people than you around you,
Yeah,
but you're you're inhibiting their ability to
yeah,
actually leverage their brain power. I don't know if that makes sense, but I mean,
makes a lot of
we
sense.
just allocated some dedicated time every day, 30 minutes, an hour, come
Yeah.
up with some ideas, create your own funny meme or TikTok or whatever, right? Things can move a lot faster.
Yes, sir. So let's get into this: how AI is changing roofing marketing, and what have you seen out there that? I mean, this is moving so fast, and I think there's some fear around it. But how is this going to change over this next couple of years?
That's a great question, Tim, and there's so many things we can unpack here. I would say that, not even thinking about the next few years, let me just go back a year, right? I think it was only 12 months ago that you couldn't even get digits on an image created by ChatGPT, and now you can get lifelike replications of yourself down to the color of your teeth and hair and everything, right? It's really granular, and that's in 12 months' time. So, first and foremost, I think that what's scarier, one of the big things that's scary to contractors that we talk to, is how fast it's moving. And if you get something implemented today, you figure out that repeatable SOP or process, and you get it off the ground, it could be dated tomorrow. But where I think that there's still going to be, in my opinion, a long runway for agencies. For many years, I've always said we're kind of the catalyst or the broker between Google and you. Where actually you hire us to keep you safe from Google and their bad practices, going direct, running ads. And I think the same thing with AI. Right? AI without strategy is nothing. And so that's where a lot of our value comes in.
Yeah, I think where I see it going is there's an element of we're going to become a little bit more AI agencies. Like it's getting so good now that it would be almost stupid for us not to incorporate this in as many places as we possibly can. And you should too. You should too. I think that overarching, like my original point about you want to carry the best practices of what people have learned into that AI. You can't take bad marketing and then duplicate it with AI and then it makes it good marketing.
Very true.
You have to take good marketing and then duplicate that with AI. So I think that that's the way I'd like people to look at this a little bit, is like, make sure it's good marketing that you're duplicating. Like, AI is right now it's a really good duplicator.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not redoing everything for you. Yeah, so you want to use it to duplicate your best stuff. And I think that goes like right now with all of you who are maybe making custom GPTs. Do it if you haven't done it. It's great. You can put like a bunch of examples of your voice in there. You can do this on Claude too. You can make these projects. You can put a bunch of examples of your voice and then say, kind of identify the features of this writing style and write like me. And then I always edit it before I do it. I mean, I use AI so much. If you can tell though, I fucked up.
How's that?
Well, I'm just saying, like, if there's too many
Oh,
emojis, or I'm
you're
using
saying if you could tell that I used AI, I didn't humanize it enough and bring my
yeah,
own expertise.
exactly.
Yeah,
I'd say that's the truth for all of it right now. I'm not saying it won't get better, but like right now, it's like if I do a social post, half the time I use AI and then I modify it. Now, some of you might be like, "Yeah, I can tell, Tim," but a lot of those posts do very well for me. Like I do it more like this is the way I look at it. I use it to extract things out of my brain. So I like tell AI to ask me 7 questions one by one, make them novel and unusual, and then don't build on my last answer. Ask in random new directions, and then I let it talk to me, and one by one, and I have it on voice mode, and then I just like give it a bunch of information, and then it writes a post. And I usually give it another framework. So I give it the retellable story framework. And you can use whatever you want, like a framework that you have for copywriting. Another one would be PAS, problem, agitate, solve. So you could say, use the PAS, problem, agitate, solve framework. Help extract this information with me by asking me questions one by one until we get a post, and then it'll make a post. But then I always modify it at the end. So like I use the AI to write it a little bit, and then I change out some stuff. And I'll usually add something that just feels weirdly human at the beginning, so people are like, no, and then I'll remove the M dashes and we're golden.
Well, I heard one of the voice agents the other day in a demo,
Yeah.
like purposely messing up little words or like
Yeah.
stuttering a little bit just to even be more realistic. But I think to your point, and all that you just explained,
Yeah.
in the most to you and I remedial process, but is your in-house marketing agency that, or your in-house marketing girl or guy that's coming in that's going to leverage AI and do everything like that was a really good prompt. And that was just one micro component into what AI is, right? Because
Yeah.
most people hear us talk about AI and they're thinking Chat GPT in your pocket,
Yeah.
right? Maybe they know Grok or Claude, but they're certainly not thinking about, Akova and agents and all. You can use it for efficiencies, you can use it for finance, you can use it for operations, and there's so many different iterations of AI that it's almost taken on its own nomenclature.
What was the voice thing that you were just saying? What phone answering or like system were you talking
It's
about?
actually funny because you and I are in a mastermind group together, and so I saw in a post the other day a lot of people pushing this company called Akova, and then somebody else brought in from Infernix, Kevin Robert, and he said he just put a YouTube video there and said the world's best voice AI agent, and I listened to it, and it was amazing. It was
Are you
way
talking about
better.
Avoca? Is it Avoca?
Avoca. I said Akova. I'm sorry,
No, no.
Avoca.
There's a couple that I'd like almost like from the amount of recommendations I've gotten. I think Avoca and Same Day might be the winners for home services right now, from what I can tell. There's a
I'm
couple
speaking
other
to
ones.
Infernix Monday.
Okay.
That's Kevin Robert out of S7FA, and I think he's a new one, but
Yeah.
it was really good.
Yeah, so those are going to get better and better. I'm super excited about it. We're trying to roll it out for ourselves as like late night and weekend answering. And then
Yeah.
I think one of the important things there for people is to, one, it's the bane of our existence as marketers that you guys don't answer your phones. And it makes it really hard to like even have a discussion where it's like a one-to-one discussion. If you're not answering your phones, it's very easy for the marketers to like, it's an excuse. We don't want excuses. We want to get rid of all the excuses for marketers not to perform, right? I know you believe that. Like,
I
so
mean, my
this,
team had an escalatory call with, I'm not going to say names, but a roofing contractor in the Boston area yesterday. And so my VP operations got on to, hear him out, and we had all of our data sets and all of our recordings. And so he gets on and he like barks back immediately, and he's like, "Hey, it's not a process problem, it's a lead problem." And she's like, "Okay, hold my beer." And she pulls up our report, and 60% of their calls are no answers, and like another 24% are going to voicemail. And so
that's normal. That's a normal amount, by the way.
yeah, and he
Like not a
said,
good amount, but I'm saying that's not an unusual problem.
yeah, but he ate crow. He said, "You know what? I take back everything I said. I need to fix my in-house processes with my team." And they were all on there too. So it was like an awkward accountability. His daughter's the girl that's supposed to answer the phone.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I got to fix my stuff, but based on all the leads and the quality of the voicemails and forms you've seen, like, you're right. It's not a lead problem." And that's an important thing to take into consideration. If you're not going to answer the phone, just admit you have a problem and then get a voice AI agent or a call center. But
Yeah.
somebody,
I mean, like if you're not ready to do AI voice agent, do call center. I mean, it's just one or the other. I think like at this point we probably need backup. And I think like the expectation is going up, and you can even say it's an AI thing at the beginning of it. This is AI agent, but we're trying to give you the right information as soon as possible and allowing you to book or whatever, and just start. Have it start. Okay, so we talked about kind of some prompting stuff, some social stuff, some storytelling stuff, some phone answering stuff. I'm going to kind of go into the agent stuff for a second. Automations, really. AI agents, it's kind of a fancy way to say automations at this point. Like there's a lot of things. you can do the one in ChatGPT where it will like click around on the screen and do some things for you. It's a little basic right now. It's not like a super in-depth thing, but you can very easily, and even Zapier has this essentially, but some of the newer platforms like N8N allow you to do like a flow. Like you used to be able to do this. We remember this from like email marketing has been like that for a while, where you can kind of do like a linear flow of like they get this email, then they get this email, then they get. So like I'm used to using that flow for that when we'd do kind of like doesn't answer, or like doesn't do answer this email, so send out that email kind of thing. And now you can do this if this then that as a flow, a visual flow in N8N, and you can connect any platform. You can connect the OpenAI API and any other APIs for platforms like that. So you can do this writing component or strategy component, whatever they're capable of, as one component of a bigger flow. And so it's almost like the way we're doing this internally is we're essentially, it's like almost like a bounty on AI agents and AI processes. So we have a bounty internally. It's like you get $500 if you deploy it for some reproducible process, some AI agent. And then if you get a series of AI agents to allow us not to hire, I'm not thinking about this as like replacing somebody existing, but like allow us not to hire an additional person, you get $5,000. So like an AI bounty on these processes so that people are like incentivized to do this alongside of their other jobs.
That's pretty clever, though. I like it.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to work yet, so I'm just telling you what we're doing as we're doing it.
Yeah, but you're a smart guy. You test a lot of things, and some
Yeah.
work and some don't, I'm sure, right? But
Yeah,
but you're always creative.
I was telling somebody about this morning that I'm like, I just try more things than other people. Like I for every 10 things I tried, 2 of them worked, but I tried more than most people. So
Yeah.
two every once in a while is a pretty big, yeah, it adds up.
No, absolutely, man. Look, it's great, man. I think another important call out as we're talking about AI, right, is so one of the big challenges is, I go through or discovery calls or sales teams talking to people. What CRM to use? AccuLynx, Job Nimbus, whatever, right? But are you really using it? Or do you just kind of pay for it and have it at its like out of the box state? Like, did you pay an implementer to set it up and train it? And what I'm finding is that a lot of these AI, people aren't scratching the surface on the capabilities, especially with the agents. The agents have like a 4-week onboarding training. If you're not going to commit to that, you're just going to be paying for another software that you're not really leveraging to its fullest capabilities. So I would definitely encourage contractors, if you're doing anything in AI, pay the experts to set that thing up.
Yeah, sometimes it needs to be an outside of the company thing. Like I've heard some pretty egregious things about the customer service at those 2 companies. No offense to if you work at one of those, but
Yeah.
I've heard some bad stuff about the customer. So there are companies like for instance, Roofing Academy does Job Nimbus implementations, which is a sponsor of ours, partner of ours. But there are companies like that. Not a sponsor or partner of ours on like Service Titan. There's Titan Technologies is one of those essentially just totally about setting up, and you kind of need it, dude. These things are so in-depth.
RVP, right? Isn't it
Yeah.
Adam Sands? Is that the guy that did Sumo Quote?
Yeah, he does
The whole
HubSpot.
business
Yeah,
built around Sumo Quote technology,
Yeah.
making it better.
exactly. And I think Nick Parrott does a lot of Job Nimbus stuff as well. Implementation stuff. So you can find these implementation partners, and they're probably worth looking at very closely.
Yep.
And I highly recommend, doing that. And we're kind of, just to give an example over here, like we're in a couple platforms for us as an agency, right? Monday.com is our project management tool, and Go High Level is our CRM. And each one of those things has all these AI things now building out. So it doesn't always mean, go learn N8N. Like you're saying, like, have you looked at the capabilities in a while? Because I bet you Job Nimbus already has AI stuff like kind
All
of
of
coming
them.
around.
All of them.
So you start to like, all right, I'm just going to start pushing people to use the AI capabilities of the platform. I think that that's probably a big opportunity. And then you don't have to like stitch these things all together, like um, use the AI voice agents of Job Nimbus or Proline. I think they each have one. So figure out what they have for AI too before you try to like go add on new random ones.
Yeah, you can't buy your way into success with this. All right, a lot of
Yeah.
people like to think that just more software is the trick, but that's not going to work.
Ooh, that one hurts a little bit, Bruce. Doesn't it feel like we probably do that a little bit too?
Well, I have HubSpot and
Oh,
Go
yeah.
High Level and
Yeah.
Instantly for emails and a bunch of
Yeah.
other things that we use too, right? So
What
yeah,
do you
but
use for emails?
was that
What do
Instantly?
you instantly? What does that do?
I actually had a consultant through my previous coaching program out of Spain set this whole system up. So we have various emails for outbound email marketing that we use that have a much higher, true to inbox, not spam rate.
Oh,
than a
nice. Very
level.
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. I use Fixer FYXER for
Yep.
AI responses to emails, just like for natural inbox stuff.
Is it synced to your inbox? Yeah.
Yeah, it's super nice, and it gets better and better, and it like listens to your video calls and stuff like that. And and honestly, it writes drafts, and sometimes I'm like, ooh, it'll be like a technical question, and it will answer it like maybe a little better than I would
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah. But definitely
Um,
quick. Right?
yes, definitely quicker. And then if it's a two choice, somebody's asking for a choice, it will write the draft for each
Yep.
answer. Like if it's like a this or that. Um, but let's go into how it's going to change. So definitely believe there'll be more AI agents doing more marketing as time goes on. I think there already is, right? There already is. It's just, I think what you and I have, and that roofers will have to do, is customize all this stuff to their situation, to their industry, right? Like making it good for you, I think is the big deal. And like not abandoning it. Like for instance, if you're building out something with AI and AI agents, the first 10 of these are going to suck for everybody. Like I have like a few of these workflows already built out, right? And I think I'm doing mine in Zapier, and I had an outside guy help me, and we're trying to get AI engineers like to help us with this stuff, like because we're not like we don't naturally have we have developers, but AI engineer stuff is a little bit different.
Sure.
I think we're hiring for a couple now, but right now we're using outside people, and the flows, like sometimes they suck the first couple times you try something. So it's like recognizing that the first couple times they suck, you have to get through those times. But as time goes on, I don't think any of us are under the illusion that this will not be a massive cutting edge for your business if you start mastering it now and in the next year try to master some of this.
Yeah.
And if you need to like work with people on the outside, and like if the marketing thing, we have so much more context, and you just want to work with us for marketing, I think that that's great. And I think that AI workflows in general, though, it's a skill that's not going away, and it's getting
No.
bigger and bigger right now. And in 2 years, like all of this marketing stuff, if your agency isn't doing a bunch of this workflow stuff, they're frankly, I know some agencies right now that are outside of our niche that have this stuff built to the nines. And I looked at their workflows, and I'm like, holy shit. If I screenshot it and showed it to you, Bruce, your mind would be absolutely blown apart, and then we'd start over on this. So like literally, I'm like, holy. The thing that I still hold on to for like a company like you or I, because this company I'm thinking of is not as good at what we do, I think,
Yep.
but they're really good at this. And
Yeah.
my thing is like the quality still matters. Like you should have to start with a quality process, and you can increase the quality potentially through this. But the beginning start, if the marketing, like I said, if the marketing wasn't good at the beginning, you can't copy and paste it, and it'll be better because you copied and pasted 100 times.
It's not. Yeah, it's not going to be a band-aid fix by any means.
Yeah. Anything else you're seeing? I mean, I'm just trying to talk about all the craziest stuff I've seen recently. Anything you've seen that's like blowing your mind lately on this stuff and where it's going?
it's pretty remedial in the grand scheme of all that it can do.
Yeah.
I talked about
Yeah.
this a little bit with you offline, just the advancements of the graphic capabilities.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and the realism of it, right? About a year ago, you couldn't see people's digits in a picture, and now, I mean, I could. This is the scary part. I could go to your Facebook, take your headshot, create a picture of you, dress it up, send it back to you, and it'll look just like you. I
Yeah.
mean, and there's a little fear to that.
Or
Right?
me an address.
Yeah.
Or you could just look back a couple years and find me at Burning Man in a dress. You just have to. I just post too many memes, so you're never gonna see it. But
Yeah, no, it's just listen. Everybody says, "Oh, it's gonna, continue to get smarter and replace humans." I don't know to what extent yet. I'm not a prophet. I don't know what that's gonna look like in our lifetime. But I would say that as you're, vetting out agency partners or partners for other, lines of business within your roofing company, you really need to look at their expertise on this because you're still going to pay the same amount of money for the hard cost. So do you retain an expert to help you maximize it and get a return on that? Or do you just try to go at it alone and figure it out and then dump a bunch of money into something that is outside of your pay grade?
Automate your communication with Proline, the only communication-first CRM for roofers. Because when you fix your communication, you'll sell more jobs.
We had 200% growth, and I attribute that to Proline.
But just with one automation, I was able to get 25 Google reviews.
Proline's not going to win the beauty pageant, but it will save your Saturday.
that's good. And like, there are a lot of shared costs in our stuff. Like we have softwares that are like thousands of dollars and tens of thousands of dollars a month, and we're sharing those costs between all of our clients. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
they don't do the marketing for us, but they make our job a hell of a lot easier.
I know how much we spend on software, and you're bigger than us. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can only imagine what that looks like on your P&L. But it's important to
Yeah.
get the work done efficiently and give you the best quality results for sure.
And like, yeah, if you go with like the super cheap guy that's like got 2 employees or whatever, sometimes that guy is trying to skimp on not using best in class software and those types of things too. I think like I heard this thing about lawyers. Apparently there's laws starting to get passed where they have to use AI like at least 20% of the time. Like there's
At the state level, like local jurisdictions.
I don't know where this is, but these things are starting to happen because
Yeah.
if not, they're being inefficient with the client money. Like my friend who's a lawyer, won't name names, but he's like, I showed him AI like a year ago. Like I showed him how to do certain things and like make his own custom GPTs. And he's like, dude, that saves me like a half a day a week already.
Yeah.
Like just because like my briefs and stuff like that and preparing for cases, it can go like find the relevant laws. And essentially what they're saying is when you're paid by the hour,
Yeah.
if you're not using AI,
You could
you're
be
essentially you're cheating you're cheating the customer or the client out of money. And I think that that's the case now with marketing. I believe if you're and somebody's going to disagree, but I think less and less people are disagreeing now. That
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're not using AI for at least 20% of your marketing stuff at this point, you're probably overpriced or you're not doing enough. Because that's like and my thing is that to me 1 year from now we should be half.
Yeah.
I think that's my pacing. I think it's 20% now, and I'd say like in a year it should be half.
About half of your entire fulfillment is coming
Yeah.
through leveraging AI services. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it's okay if that's not where it's at. We're all running as fast as we can, and no one's trying to cheat you. But like, there are some people that are ahead of us. I mean, realistically, I've seen it. Right. That being said, roofing marketers, there's not that much better than Bruce or I.
Yeah, I would hope so. Right.
I mean,
we
unless
go
you're
back
in a
and forth
company, there are company owners and marketing managers that I've seen that are incredible. I'm saying like agencies, there's not that many better agencies, and I'm not trying to. I just like literally feel that that's true. So
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, man. I really do. I think this has been a great conversation, and think about this. If I can leave a closing remark for the roofing company owner, if you found a way to put on a top shelf, high quality roof for $3,000 less than anybody else in town, wouldn't you want to still sell that roof for what it's worth and make that $3,000 in profit instead of lowering your price by $3,000? And that, in that perspective, that analogy is the perception of paying somebody that can leverage AI efficiently on your behalf. Right? It doesn't necessarily mean the marketing agency retainers go down.
Yeah.
It just means that, we want you guys to make money out there.
Absolutely. And every time we've found efficiencies, we're trying to increase our deliverables, right? Like we're trying to increase the amount of effort being applied on the account if we find those efficiencies. We share it, we get a little bit more profit, and we get a little bit more efficiency. I think it's like, as we find it, we try to split it. You know what I mean? Like as we find AI efficiencies, we're like, we'll take some of that in profit and we'll take some of that in, we're going to increase the amount of work we're doing. You know what I mean? I think that's been
deliverables this year, and we haven't raised our retainer in 2 years.
Yeah,
we've increased the amount of work we do, and I'm just not of the belief of everybody can make the case, and there's different thoughts on this, but raise your rates because of inflation, this, that, or the other. I'm like, look, we know where we are squarely in the marketplace, in the middle, not the cheapest, not the most expensive, get great results, and that's where I want to sit. So I believe just avoid the headache and leave your prices where they are for as long as you can.
Where should they check you out at?
God, I mean, I don't want to talk YouTube, right? Because we're like sub 100 and you have thousands and thousands of subscribers. But definitely go find us on, Instagram, Bēst Roofer Marketing. And we do have, if I can do a shameless plug, Tim.
Go for it.
We only have 11 tickets left for the Best Hustler Experience Live, November, Atlanta, 13th and 14th with Deshaun Bryant, Nick Brannon. We're bringing in some people from outside the industry. Chuck Tokey's going to be there. It's going to be a really cool event. So gobble up those last 11 tickets, and we'll see if we can work with the venue to unlock a few more.
Awesome. And if you don't work with Hook Agency, I highly recommend working with Bēst Roofer Marketing.
Same. Back to you guys.
And I appreciate you being on. And podcast is put on by hookagency.com. Hook Agency all over social. And we'll keep trying to bring you the best new information as we find it about AI and encouraging you to continue to innovate as well as doing that ourselves.
Love it.
So that we can be more effective and more efficient. And I'm just going to say it, enable our people to move faster and to not have to lift as much weight. And I think what I'm trying to do, just my last little exhortation on this is like, keep the soul and the customer service alive, and just like us in mecha suits, basically. The mecha suit of marketing, which is these are the loudest alerts I've ever heard on my computer. So keep the soul alive and build out the mecha suit and make it so our people don't have to lift quite as much and can be more efficient. It's definitely speeding us all up.
Focus more on service. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you.
Exactly. Thank you. See ya.
Yeah.
They're so thorough with every detail of the website. Working with Hook, the design is probably 50x better than any other design I've ever had. Their team is super communicative, and I mean this genuinely. I'm happy to pay you guys to work with us. It's been a tremendous experience.